This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I constantly talk about how Hollywood continually remakes these movies for a reason. The Mummy is no different. And this plot in this film is about the coming of the Antichrist. That's what it's about. But we see the same things that we constantly see. The Egyptian god worship that Hollywood is all about. Not a surprise that they chose Tom Cruise, who somehow is still acting, still relevant, despite his known association with Scientology, which has been exposed with so many horrible things that go on inside of those Scientology centers. L. Ron Hubbard's connection, of course, to Aleister Crowley, and practicing magic rituals together, bringing deities over from the other side, practicing pedophilia. L. Ron Hubbard is the founder of Scientology, which Tom Cruise is one of the higher-ups in the organization and probably the face of Scientology. It's amazing that that people don't boycott his films, knowing that child abuse runs rampant in Scientology, that they also use MK Ultra and mind control techniques, as well as abusing young children, because they believe that young kids are really adults and that their souls ventured from thousands of years ago or from other people's body, science fiction nut job stuff. But people continue to go on and let people like this make billions, millions of dollars. They don't boycott it. They don't stay away from it. So we see The Mummy, which, of course, like I said earlier, is a remake. Tom Cruise, and then we have this woman who, at first I thought it was Ivanka Trump, starring in this film. So it starts off with the ground caving in, and we see that there's an Egyptian tomb underground. Not a surprise. Most of the stuff that they do is underground, so we only know, or could imagine, I should say, what they have underground in Egypt, what they have underground here in America. I mean, we've gotten sneak peeks at some of the stuff, but regardless, we know that they do satanic rituals and all that stuff underground. So underneath the ground is this old Egyptian tomb, and you can see some of the scumbags. I call them scumbags. These Egyptian deities, these demons is what they are, that Hollywood and the Illuminati, the occult, the Freemasons all worship these gods constantly. So you can see the one goddess, the so-called god, false god, I should say, Set, as they surround this coffin that they lift from the ground. So what they do is they mess with, or they unsettle the resting of a dead, mummified woman who's apparently a goddess named Amunet. And if I'm saying it wrong, I don't really care. I think it's Amunet. That's how you pronounce it. Amunet, or Amunet, was a primordial goddess in ancient Egypt religion. And she was a member of the Ogdod, and she was married to Amon-Ra. Now, you might say, who is Amon-Ra? Well, Amon-Ra is supposedly the most known and most powerful Egyptian god, and also the god of the wind. No surprise that Amon-Ra can be found, his name can be found in books like the Kabbalah, and it's not a surprise that there's a connection between Amon-Ra and sun worship, because it's always there, right? Sun worship. But should it surprise anyone about Amon-Ra and his connections to Aleister Crowley and the Order of the Golden Dawn? How they did rituals to try to summon this god, and some believe that that is the deity that Crowley summoned when he was performing these rituals inside of the pyramids. There they are, the pyramids. Of course, we see that in The Mummy. Wouldn't be Hollywood without having the pyramids, right? But allegedly, Crowley, when he was on his honeymoon with his wife, went inside the pyramids and performed a ritual trying to summon demons, and one of them was Amon-Ra, and he called upon Amon-Ra. And then apparently, even in the Kabbalah, Amon-Ra is mentioned, and there's rituals done to summon this deity, Amon-Ra. So the main character is the wife of Amon-Ra. So you see a connection to the Golden Dawn, to the OTO, to Aleister Crowley, and it's not a surprise, right? Because it's all about Egyptian worship. Now, this woman, Amunet, was supposed to be the next princess of Egypt, and you can see the pyramids, and again, All you gotta do is look at the back of your dollar bill to see what all this stuff is about. This Egyptian worship wouldn't be there by coincidence. They didn't put it there because they just thought a pyramid was pretty. Okay? That's why the pyramid's probably the most common Illuminati New World Order symbol that we all know of. But nonetheless, she was supposed to be the next queen, but she was power hungry, right? Sound familiar? And she was performing magic rituals, including blood sacrifice. You guessed it. As they show her murder this man, who I can only assume is someone in power over her, a king or somebody higher up. They don't say in the trailer. But she murders him. She slits his throat, covered in his blood. She then performs a satanic ritual, or whatever you want to call it, Egyptian ritual. This all goes back to the mystery religions of Babylon and Egypt. That's why I constantly harp on the Talmud, because it's really the Babylonian Talmud that the fake Jews have in their temple, and that they openly pretend like it's not a big deal, but it's really the Babylonian works and the Babylonian Talmud and the worship of these Egyptian gods and all the disgusting things that we see inside of the Talmud. So she performs this satanic ritual, but then she's wrapped up in, what do they call it, mummification, mummified. They wrap her up and they bury her, put her in the wrap, put her inside of the tomb, and I guess she gets buried alive. But now that Tom Cruise has messed with her tomb somehow, some way, she's come back to life to cause Armageddon. She's been unsettled, so she's coming back. But you know what she needs? She needs a host. And she's chosen Tom Cruise to be the host. So do you connect the dots here? How they do these black magic rituals and become demonically possessed and need hosts. Hosts as in humans to let them become demonically possessed. That's why they perform these rituals. A lot of these child sacrifice rituals that they perform at covens. People are becoming demonically possessed. They're performing these rituals at 3 o'clock in the morning. And they're summoning deities and demons like Amun-Ra. So now that she's chosen Tom Cruise to be the host, the world is going to be destroyed if Tom Cruise doesn't save the day. But do you see the comic connections here with the Antichrist? They use subliminal messaging talking about us not being able to run or escape. And let's be realistic. The rituals that they're trying to perform, and whether you're a believer in what they're trying to do at CERN or not, is, open the black hole. They're trying to bring over what's behind the veil, bring it over here. They actually plan on bringing these Egyptian gods and goddesses back. You could read the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and read about Osiris and the resurrection. And I know people out there try to connect it to Jesus because they're fools and they don't even understand what they're trying to do and why they've tried to connect all these things together to lead people away from Christianity. But the Book of the Dead even talks about these things and bringing back Horus. So again, it's another connection, right? Where the plot about Amunet, someone who ritually commits a ritual sacrifice for a magic ritual because she wants power. So she kills the highest ranking person apparently, so she can have more power, and performs a blood ritual. You can see the marks and stuff on her face, reminiscent of Crowley and these Satanists who put all these spells and they draw them on their bodies. These people are out of control. But it's just more of the same stuff. Aleister Crowley and his connection to Hollywood. What a surprise. What a surprise that Amun-Ra, that they chose his wife, who is supposed to be the Princess of Egypt, who is supposed to be all-powerful, who is supposed to bring upon Armageddon. And they chose a female. That's kind of interesting too, right? They chose a female for this. And so again, you see Set, you see Amunet, and of course the connections to Amun-Ra. And there's stuff out there you could read on Amun-Ra and the OTO and the Order of the Golden Dawn, and how they were summoning Amun-Ra and attempting to summon him, and a lot of these rituals that were performed with guys like L. Ron Hubbard. So connect the dots there with Tom Cruise being the main lead character in this movie and being one of the top-ranking people and the face of Scientology for the most part. Boy, really makes you think, right? Actually, it doesn't. It should make people think. They should be able to connect the dots, but they don't. All they see is the mummy, then they go, ooh, the mummy, looks scary, cool special effects. Oh, it's been they're raising this demon from the dead, but she needs a host to bring upon Armageddon? Boy. I mean, it's unbelievable, folks. The plots of these movies, they just show themselves. They reveal themselves all the time. And people just don't see it. It's frustrating. So this is the mummy. More brainwashing, more programming, more letting you know what the plans are and what's going on, and more Egyptian worship of these Egyptian gods and goddesses that people don't notice, that these people worship them, and they even think of themselves as these gods in their own minds, that they're Egyptian gods amongst us, because so many people worship these false idols. Don't worship these false idols. Boycott these kinds of movies. It's crap. Crap upon crap upon crap. I thank you for listening to today's show. You can check the trailer out for yourself if you want to see how ridiculous it is. God bless all of you and your families. This is a call for an uprising. I just want everybody to know that I have an exclusive video now posted on my Fire Rises channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to it. I'll leave the link below. I tried to upload it on this channel, but it would not let me upload it. I've been trying to upload it for hours. It continues to get blocked. It is in regards to somebody who decided they no longer want to be the race they were born. They want to identify as a different race, and this is becoming a new thing. You will pull your hair out of your head when you see this guy. It is absolutely unbelievable, the stuff that is going on, pushing towards one everything. So please subscribe to The Fire Rises below. Make sure you subscribe when you check out this video, but it's a video you'll want to see. It is unbelievable. This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. And apparently this is a call for athletes to be microchipped. Now, this isn't the first that we've heard of